So picture this. You're an orphan who gets your name and identity from the nurse who delivered you. Throughout your childhood, you are in and out of foster homes, and the nurse is the only person that cares and is checking on you to make sure that you have a great upbringing. She has tragedies in her life, and when you turn 15, she tells you that she can no longer do any check-ins and give you a stack of money and tell you to be safe and live your life. You are so determined to make it that you graduate at the age of 16 and decide to go to medical school to honor the lady who gave you your name and become a doctor. After you graduate from medical school, you move to a new city and start working at a hospital as a surgeon in the ER. And one day, a slew of patients come rushing into the hospital from gunshot wounds. And you are pulled to the side by a guy who tells you that your life depends on saving one of the patients. You, in turn, cuss him out for coming at you that way, only to find out that he is the Don, and the patient he's talking about is his best friend who he considered his brother. The Don is so shocked that you was brave enough to come at him that way that he becomes obsessed with you and starts stalking you because he just can't believe that you were that bold. Over time, you and him start having heated arguments while his best friend is in the hospital because you can't stand him, and he's just shocked that you coming at him this way. And one day, you get so frustrated that you just need a moment to yourself. So you decide that you're going to have you a nice day out, and you head up to the casino in town to have a good time and find you a man that's going to relieve some of that stress. But what you didn't know is the hotel is owned by none other but the Don. So he sent one of his goons down to get you because he want to know what you're doing in his casino. But you don't know who the boss is that they telling you that want to meet you. When you get up to his office, he lets you know that he can't get you off his mind. And he been dreaming about you and he wants you. And so because you're there to find a man anyway, you say, what's up? Let's do this. But the kicker is you're a virgin. And when you tell the Don this, he's so shocked, but respectful enough to let you know that he will not take your virginity in a casino. But you take it as an insult, so you storm out and determine that you hate him and you will never see him again. This little bit of information makes the Don even obsessed with you. So not only is he stalking you at night when you get off of work, now he's breaking into your house, he's going through your things, touching your clothes, because he has to have you. He needs to have you before anybody else, and maybe nobody else could. When he gets so fed up with his obsession of you, he just go ahead and decide to kidnap you. You know what? You're mine. Nobody gonna have you. You belong to me. And he locks you in his house in a room. Now he have kept you in this house for months on months. You're starting to have cabin fever. You're having nightmares and dreams and flashback about your childhood as an orphan, been in and out of foster homes. And while you're having these nightmares, he's coming and consoling you at night, working you through it to the point that you cannot sleep unless he's there with you. I think that's a case of Stockholm Syndrome. But nonetheless, you start developing feelings for him because you can't believe that he's so kind and passionate to what you're going through. Now, the whole time the Don has you locked up in his house, during the daytime, he's out here in the streets trying to find out who shot his best friend, who shot up his casino on a grand opening, and why, as well as getting pressure from the organization to get married because they don't believe that a Don should be ruling without a wife. So he said, you know what? I got you here. I've always wanted you. We should get married. You look at this man like he's crazy and tell him you're not marrying somebody while being a prisoner. And the only way that you will even consider it is if, one, he lets you go back to work because you ain't do all of that medical school for nothing. He tells you, you really don't know who I am. And you thinking a little bit too small. Baby, the world is at your feet. You can have anything that you want if you say I do. So he said, think bigger. Tell me what your desires are. And you tell him that you want your own hospital. And he says, it's done. The catch is, you guys got to get married fast because a Don from another family, a smaller family, wants you to marry his niece so that your families can marriage and he can start getting a piece of the pie and have more safety because his numbers are low. You can't stand this man and you tell him you will never marry his niece and you already have somebody in mind. So he goes out of his way to try to destroy your marriage, kill your fiance, only for the day that you get married at at the reception, him to bust in and say, surprise, she's my daughter that I never claimed. If you have not read this book, check it out. It's crazy. It's a slow burn, but it's really good. And I can't wait to get in part 2. I'll come back with updates.